Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Imagine this. Beijing at twilight, its ancient streets cloaked beneath a relentless curtain of rain. The sky weeps gently but without pause, as if nature itself senses the weight of what is about to unfold. The usual hum of the city, the chatter of late-night vendors, the distant honks of traffic, fades into the background, replaced by an eerie stillness that feels both fragile and electric. But the true storm that night wasn't the rain falling from the sky. It was something far more delicate, far more heartbreaking, something invisible to the eye but impossible to ignore. It was the moment when millions of hearts across the nation, and indeed the world, collectively held their breath. It was the night the unshakable image of Xiao Zhan, the beloved Chinese superstar, began to crack. Outside one of Beijing's most prominent hospitals, a crowd had gathered. It wasn't a typical fan meet or a public appearance. No lights, no cameras, just umbrellas bobbing in the rain, faces pale with worry, eyes glistening with unshed tears. They clutched banners and signs, their messages simple yet profound. Stay strong, Xiao Zhan, we are with you, and please fight. The atmosphere was thick with a raw, almost suffocating energy. It was a mix of hope and fear, faith and desperation. Strangers huddled close beneath shared umbrellas, whispering prayers, holding hands, some whispering promises to wait, no matter how long it took. There was a sacred silence, punctuated only by the sound of rain tapping gently on fabric and pavement. A lullaby for the restless hearts gathered there. This wasn't just about a celebrity falling ill. It was about a man who had become a beacon of hope, joy, and resilience for millions. Xiao Zhan's journey from rising star to national icon had been nothing short of meteoric, but tonight, that journey was shrouded in uncertainty. Suddenly, the quiet was shattered. A black van appeared like a shadow slipping through the night, its headlights cutting sharply through the misty haze. The vehicle moved swiftly, guarded, urgent. It wasn't the kind of arrival fans were prepared for. It wasn't the entrance of a hero coming to greet them, but something far more serious. The doors burst open and medical staff rushed out. An unconscious figure, wrapped in a blanket, was carried inside with swift, practiced movements. Limbs lay limp, head swaying softly, like a marionette whose strings had been suddenly severed. It was Xiao Zhan. The crowd gasped, some crying out, others silent with shock. The world seemed to pause. In that moment, under the rain-soaked sky, time itself felt suspended. For fans who had followed his career, who had celebrated his triumphs and smiled through his songs and dramas, this was a heartbreak beyond words. The image of their idol, once so full of life and energy, now fragile and vulnerable, was a reality too painful to grasp. And yet, this was only the beginning of a story that would test the limits of hope, friendship, and faith. The moment Xiao Zhan was rushed into the hospital, the world outside faded into a distant hum. Behind those sterile hospital doors, a battle unlike any stage performance was underway, a fight for life itself. Inside the intensive care unit, every second counted. The air was thick with tension, sterile yet charged with urgency. Doctors and nurses moved with precision, their faces masks of focus and determination. Machines beeped steadily, monitors flickered with vital signs, and the atmosphere was heavy with unspoken fear. Xiao Zhan lay motionless on the hospital bed, his body frail and unresponsive. The bright lights overhead cast stark shadows on his pale face, a stark contrast to the vibrant, energetic star the world adored. Every breath he took seemed a delicate victory. But the fight was far from just physical. Behind closed doors, away from the cameras and flashing lights, Xiao Zhan's struggle was deeply human. Years of relentless schedules, emotional strain, and unyielding pressure from fame had taken their toll. The exhaustion was no longer just visible. It was critical. Reports from insiders hinted at stress-induced complications, possibly cardiac-related, that forced the sudden collapse. In this quiet battle, Fame and fortune offered no shield. Yet, amidst the chaos, a figure quietly appeared: Wang Yibo, Xiao Zhan's longtime co-star and close friend, best known for their unforgettable chemistry in the hit drama The Untamed. Known for his usually calm and confident demeanor, Wang Yibo was transformed by the gravity of the moment. Clad in dark clothes, a mask covering his face, Yibo's presence was somber and heavy. He didn't speak. He didn't move around nervously. Instead, he sat, still focused, his hands trembling slightly. His red, weary eyes told a story words could not capture. A mixture of profound worry, helplessness, and fierce loyalty. Hospital staff whispered that Wang Yibo refused to leave Xiao Zhan's side, standing guard like a sentinel over his friend's fragile life. Hours stretched on with no movement, no updates, just a quiet vigil of hope and desperation. For fans, this image was both heartbreaking and inspiring. It showed the deep bond between two artists beyond the glitz and glamour. It reminded the world that behind every superstar is a human being, capable of pain and vulnerability. More than that, it was a testament to friendship, a silent promise that no matter what, you never face your darkest moments alone. While the outside world waited anxiously, the ICU remained a place of uncertainty and fight. Doctors worked tirelessly, balancing the delicate line between hope and harsh reality. Every minute passed was a battle against illness, against fear, against the unknown. And though no official statements were made, and no detailed updates shared, one thing was clear. This was more than just a medical emergency. It was a story of endurance, courage, and the raw human spirit fighting to survive, away from the spotlight's glare. Before the sudden, terrifying night when Xiao Zhan was rushed into the ICU, there had been whispers, subtle signs that something was wrong. But in the whirlwind of fame, flashing cameras, and demanding schedules, these signs were either missed or overlooked. Fans who followed Xiao Zhan closely began noticing changes that didn't fit the image of the confident, radiant star they admired. His once vibrant complexion appeared pale and gaunt. His movements, usually full of energy and grace, grew sluggish and tired. Sharp weight loss was evident, and the light in his eyes, something fans described as his soul, seemed dimmer, as if clouded by exhaustion. Interviews became increasingly difficult to watch. Xiao Zhan was present, but his responses were often vague or lacking the usual sparkle. There were moments when his smile seemed forced, and his gaze drifted away, lost in a distant place. Those closest to him whispered about sleepless nights and relentless pressure, an unyielding schedule that demanded perfection, no matter the cost. The entertainment industry is famous for glamorizing tireless work ethics, but the reality is far more brutal. Long hours on set, constant public appearances, and the weight of millions of fans' expectations build up like invisible chains. For Xiao Zhan, these chains tightened day by day, strangling his health and spirit. Even those around him tried to protect him from worry. Wang Yibo, his closest friend and co-star from The Untamed, reportedly began cutting back on public appearances. Rumors spread that Yibo canceled shoots to be emotionally available for Xiao Zhan, an unspoken understanding that his friend was struggling far more than anyone knew. Yet, despite these warning signs, the true severity of Xiao Zhan's condition remained hidden. To the public, it was easy to assume he was simply tired or stressed, a normal part of the celebrity lifestyle. But behind the scenes, his body was quietly breaking down, trying to carry burdens no one could see. The heartbreaking irony is that Xiao Zhan tried his best to shield his fans from worry, wearing a mask of strength and resilience. But that night, his body finally gave in, collapsing under the immense weight of his struggles. It was a silent cry for help that no one heard in time. Looking back, those subtle signs were the pieces of a puzzle, a slow unraveling that begged for attention, care, and rest. But fame, ambition, and duty pushed him further into the storm, until the breaking point was reached. For millions watching worldwide, the shock wasn't just about the collapse. It was the painful realization that beneath the dazzling lights and glamour lay a fragile human being fighting a hidden battle, a battle we all too often forget to see. Within 15 minutes of news breaking, The hashtag Xiao Zhan ICU surged to #1 worldwide. Millions poured onto social media, flooding timelines with messages of despair, hope, and prayers. Open letters from fans emerged in all languages. If you can't speak, we'll speak for you. If you can't rise, we'll kneel in your place. Please don't leave us, not now. Across time zones, hearts beat as one, bound by grief and a fierce desire to believe in a miracle. A fan-recorded video captured Wang Yibo sitting on a cold hospital corridor floor, still and motionless, staring into a void that only those who love can comprehend. He didn't check his phone. He didn't respond to anyone. He simply endured, bearing the weight of helplessness alongside hope. Meanwhile, XED Studio, Xiao Zhan's agency, issued a brief, vague statement. He is receiving the best possible care, but no timelines, no medical details. Only an echoing silence that left fans desperate for truth. Days before the collapse, Xiao Zhan had recorded a haunting ballad titled, "Wait for Me Until I Return," Chinese, Dang Wahui Lai. Now, those lyrics took on a chilling new meaning, a plea not just to fans, but to fate itself. Adding to the symbolism, Wang Yibo was spotted wearing a necklace rumored to be a keepsake from their time filming the Untamed, a silent reminder of their shared past and the unspoken bond that tethered them. The following nights were marked by vigils around the globe. Fans lit candles in their windows, posted tribute videos, and flooded comment sections with messages of unwavering support. The phrase, "Don't lose hope, Xiao Zhan," became a rallying cry transcending language and culture. Wang Yibo made another quiet attempt to visit Xiao Zhan but was stopped at the ICU door. Witnesses say he stood there, tears threatening to spill, holding back an ocean of pain. Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo are not just stars. They are symbols of resilience, friendship, and humanity. Their journey from the groundbreaking series The Untamed to solo success has inspired millions. Yet, behind the glitz and glamour lies a harsh truth. The immense pressure, emotional exhaustion, and physical toll that often remain hidden beneath the spotlight. Recent insiders reveal Xiao Zhan had been battling stress-induced health issues, possibly cardiac complications, worsened by non-stop work. Wang Yibo had canceled projects, choosing instead to be emotionally available to his friend during this dark time. As of now, Xiao Zhan remains under close medical supervision, with fans and friends alike praying for his recovery. Wang Yibo reportedly refuses to leave the hospital, sleeping on a small couch outside the ICU, whispering to anyone who asks, "He's not just my friend. He's my family." Thank you so much for watching and sharing in this deeply personal story of courage, friendship, and hope. If you found this video meaningful, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more heartfelt stories from the world of entertainment. Your support means everything as we stand together, waiting and hoping alongside Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo.